Rome, Italy, July 1973. A 16-year-old boy disappears on the streets of the city. His name is John Paul Getty III. His grandfather is the richest man in the world. The kidnappers demand $10 million. His grandfather refuses to pay. John Paul Getty III was the grandson of oil tycoon J. Paul Getty, a man so extraordinarily wealthy that his personal fortune was estimated at over $4 billion in the early 1970s. He was also, by almost every account, one of the most ruthless and emotionally cold men who ever lived. Paul III, as the family called him, was 16, rebellious, and had been living a semi-bohemian life in Rome, hanging around artists and nightclubs in Trastevere. On the night of July 10, 1973, he was snatched from Piazza Farnese by members of the Calabrian 'Ndrangheta criminal organization. The ransom demand arrived quickly, $10 million. The family contacted the grandfather. Getty Sr. refused to pay. His position, stated publicly and without apparent emotion, was that he had 14 grandchildren and could not set a precedent of paying ransoms or all of them would be targets. Months passed. The family pleaded. Paul III sat in a cave in the mountains of Calabria, moved from location to location, kept in darkness for weeks at a time. Then in November 1973, a package arrived at a Rome newspaper. Inside was a human ear and a lock of red hair and a note warning that further pieces of Paul would follow unless the money arrived. The ear belonged to Paul Getty III. Getty Sr. finally agreed to negotiate, but only up to the maximum amount that was tax deductible under American law, $2.2 million. The remaining $800,000 needed to reach the kidnappers' reduced demand of $3 million was lent to Paul's father at 4% interest. Paul Getty III was released in December 1973. After 158 days in captivity, he was found on a roadside in Calabria, disoriented, traumatized, and missing his right ear. He never fully recovered. In 1981, at the age of 24, he suffered a stroke caused by a drug and alcohol overdose that left him partially paralyzed, nearly blind, and unable to speak for the rest of his life. He died in 2011 at the age of 54. Of the men who kidnapped him, 2 were convicted. The mastermind was acquitted. The ear was never reattached. It had decomposed during the months of negotiation. John Paul Getty Sr. died in 1976 at the age of 83, one of the wealthiest men in history. He never visited his grandson in hospital after the kidnapping. He never expressed public regret for his refusal to pay the ransom immediately. A man worth $4 billion lent his son $800,000 at 4% interest to help free his mutilated grandson. Some shadows are cast by money, not darkness. And in Italy, the mountains of Calabria still keep their secrets. Thank you for watching Italian Shadows. If this story left you speechless, please subscribe, leave a like, and ring the bell. Every subscriber helps us keep telling the stories that powerful people would prefer you forgot. We'll see you in the shadows.